Hey, what's up guys? This is T-Bone here. Welcome back to another episode of playing Legendary Game of Heroes. So this is actually going to be my last week doing this preview remotely. I'll be back starting next week, and we'll be doing streams to take a look at the events. This is a Water Commander event, and it is the second part of the VIP celebration month. And so for the cards this time, they actually have Nikole as well as Sniperweed being on the cards. Nikole for the support and the ultra rare cards, and Sniperweed for the event card. So now what I want to focus on this time is actually just talk about the cards themselves. And there are definitely a lot of different thoughts around the vaults themselves. And I will spend more time talking about it when I get back. I do have my thoughts on them. Generally, I think that it is a better deal for you at lower tiers. You may not have, it doesn't mean you're guaranteed anything, but the chances of you getting something better compared to previous systems, in my opinion, is slightly better. But we can talk about that in more detail. Right now, I'm going to talk about the Master Collection card, Tri-Sharkatops. And so this is a Water Commander event. It is an ancient type. And the battle skill here is actually pretty good. So if you look at the battle skill, it'll create 4 Power Gem 3s. And when you're celebrating, it'll double. So this, in the first glance, sounds kind of like the whole overgrowth mechanic, but it actually isn't. So I'm going to explain what's going to happen here. So you have a battle skill that creates Power Gem 3s, and then you can create up to 8 if you're celebrating. It does have a 5-turn cooldown, so this is going to be a little bit slower deck overall, but it's a commander event, and so it's not necessary to have the really fast turns. The passive skill is really going to be the differentiator here, where every 3 turns, it will create 4 Power Gem 3s. And if you're celebrating, again, this is doubled. So this is actually going to be more like the Doom Mine of Wendigo event, where Dynamite Dougal will create Power Gems and also create Power Gems passively. The only difference here is that it doesn't actually increase the attack percentage of your cards. But this, if you think about it, if you wait every 3 turns or until your passive ability activates, and you have a celebration, or if you're celebrating, then you can actually create double the power gems for your passive and double the power gems for your battle skill, for a total of 16 Power Gem 3s on turn 3. And so that's a really powerful card there. And then the ultra rare card, the Enchanting Empress, will make you immune to damage for a turn, and then if you're hit by damage while immune, then you'll heal and then cleanse all debuffs, and also start celebrating for 3 turns. So this is going to be very similar to Josephine, where if you get hit while your battle skill is activated and immune, then you have this special sort of status. And so this is where you're going to activate the Master Collection card through the battle skill. And its passive is that every time you attack, you create 2 Power Gem 4s as well as 2 Water Gems. So these are really good cards here, in that every attack you make, you're going to create Power Gems, and then every 3 turns, you're going to passively create them as well. Now the ultimate form will have the combined skill of the ultra rare card as well as the Master Collection, in that it'll create 4 Power Gem 4s and then also passively create it every 3 turns. So no real increase to the ability from the Master Collection card, and it has gained a passive ability to create 2 Power Gem 4s as well as 4 Water Gems. So this is a complete integration of the ultra rare and the Master Collection card, and so that it'll create a lot of Power Gems basically. And what this will do though is that it doesn't celebrate. So that's the thing, is that the ultimate form will not have the celebration mechanic, and so you do need the ultra rare card in order to power it up. But that's not the only way to get it. You can actually power it up through the support card as well, and we're going to take a look at this. So so the support card is actually going to be shown in here. I'm going to look at the 6-star card, Nikole, Waveborn Whisper, and what she does is she'll also have the similar mechanics as the ultra rare card. You'll become immune to damage for a turn, and then it will heal for 300% recovery, and you'll actually celebrate for 3 turns, but only if you're above 200 Water Commander skill events. So if you have support cards and a Master Collection card, you could actually power up the Master Collection card, which is really good. And so what you can do is, as long as you can get yourself up to 200 Water Commander bonus skills, this is when you should activate the skill. So if you have the Master Collection card, then this is how you want to play. You want to take advantage of your support card. I mean, you could activate it first, but then after you've collected 200 skill points, this is when you can power the Master Collection card. So that's actually really good. And then finally, the event card Seabound Sniper. This is based on Sniperweed. It's a weaker version of the Master Collection card. It creates 4 Power Gem 1s, and it doubles if you're celebrating. And again, it will create 4 Power Gem 1s every 3 turns, and also doubles if you're celebrating. So in terms of Power Gem creation abilities, this whole deck is actually going to be probably the best I've seen so far in the Generation 3 deck. So that means it's going to be a really powerful deck. And also, I think that what's important is to note that you don't actually need the full you don't need the full deck here. Obviously, having the full deck is going to make you the most powerful, but having a combination of event cards and support card is actually going to be a lot better than before, where if you had just a support card and event cards, you may not have been able to deal a lot of damage. But in this particular case, you can actually create a lot of power gems, even if it's just power gem 1s, if you have a couple of event cards plus support card. And so let's take a look here. We're going to do what we normally do, and we're going to open up a few packs just to see what we get. Again, as a VIP, you do get a bonus pull every tier, and so let's see what we get in the first 3 tiers here. So what I managed to get last event actually was when I went to the when I did the 1,000 gem pull, I managed to get something. I managed to get a Master Collection card, and so I was actually able to get some pretty good stuff there. But this particular time, I got just keys from my fall rewards, and so let's go and pull again tier 2. Let's go to tier 3 and see what we get. This is the case where I think tier 4 is actually not a bad idea, just because you get also the guaranteed event card. And so we got the Master Collection card. This is actually what I would say is a great card to get. So this card by itself, really great, and you can use the support card to power it up. So I think that is a really good option. So a combination of support card plus the Master Collection card is actually going to be able to give you quite a bit of power, actually. Just like, if you imagine that every 3 turns, you can get passively, passive Power Gem 4 creations there. So in my opinion, it's a good deck, good card to have. And so let's go to tier 3 and see what we get here. This is also where we get a guaranteed relic. So this is going to be I'm going to be able to get a relic plus, the support card, and then we have the Master Collection card this time to go with it. And so here is another support card. So that's Nikole. And let's see what else we get here. So we got this is the guaranteed relic here, and so that's pretty much going to be what we get for these pulls here. Now I can also take a look at my dust here, but I think that having just the Master Collection card, I'm pretty happy with that. And I don't think I can actually craft the ultra rare, although I would really, really like to. And I could go to tier 4, but I'm gonna hold out for now. So I can craft another Master Collection card if I want to, although the ultra rare is the one that I'm short on. So the question is whether or not it's going to be worth it for you to use your dust in this particular deck. And if we take a look at the killer skill, it's not a beast killer, so this is actually going to be an immortal killer. So it's not going to necessarily help you with the gold legend trials as much, although it is a super powerful deck, so I don't think I'll have any problems anyway. So if you have the dust, if you've collected up enough dust, then I think that this is definitely a deck that's worth crafting. Even just, I think, just getting the basic ultimate form plus the Master Collection card and the ultra rare, this is going to be a really good deck to go with. And so I definitely think that I would highly recommend using your dust in this particular event if you have saved up. And if you aren't, if you're free to play, if you're not looking to spend any gems, then I think that hopefully you can get at least the event card. Getting the event card plus the support card, and there are other options I think that will actually make this work well, just because of all the passive abilities. So this is a case where the event card is kind of like the similar to the Wendigo event. The Iron Spine Iron Spine Night Horse is actually not a bad card to have. Of course, it was all because of the additional attack boost, but in this particular case, I think the passive abilities makes up for it in this case, especially given that it's a ×10 bonus here. And so let me just double check here. I think that in terms of the cards themselves, if you want to take a quick look at the counters, so we can expect that there's going to be Power Gem Silence and also Flatline. So Flatline isn't really a big deal there. And if we take a look at, so that's the Master Collection card. If we take a look at the event card, we can see that there is also Power Gem Silence again, and Nikole is going to dispel Weaken. So it's going to be Weaken, Flatline, and Power Gem Silence. So those are the counters here. As far as the event goes, I'm not sure if there is any sort of changes here. If we can take a look at the news feed, although I think that, yeah, so nothing has really been announced here, but I believe that it's really just it's just talking about the anniversary vault. So let's see. So every tier is going to provide gifts. And this is the same as last time, where VIPs get something a little bit extra. So they haven't talked about the actual event updates this particular time in the newsfeed, but what we can expect is Prestige. So Prestige is going to be a thing. Again, I'll be able to talk more about it in more detail once I'm not actually remote. But I think that a lot of people have enjoyed using Prestige. I think you should only do it if you have the ability to actually take out the boss, but it is definitely worth it just for the additional trophies. And so that's going to be it for this particular preview of the cards. So again, in summary, I think that this deck, a lot of people ask the question of whether or not it's worth using your dust to go with. I definitely think it is. I think that you should go to at least tier 3 just to collect additional dust, and also getting the relic here to help you. And then for more free-to-play players, I think that the event card is one of the more powerful event cards so far in the Generation 3 deck, and so it definitely will be a lot of help. So that's all for today. Thanks a lot for watching, and I will see you in the next episode. Take care.